The UK will oust 23 Russki diplomatic corps following Moscow rejected to explanation how a Russki-made nervous system broker was utilized on a ex-spy in Salisbury, the PM says. Theresa May told the diplomatic corps, who include a 1 week to keep, were identified as unannounced intellect commanders. The UK after said the UN Safety Justice how Russia had utilized a gun so terrible how it is prohibited in warfare in a peace UK town. Russia denies taken assassination and says it will answer accordingly. Mrs. May as well annulled an invite to Russia's overseas secretary, and told the King household would not visit the FIFA Planet Cup in Russia after the year. Address the UN Safety Justice, Britain's Vice-UN Envoy, Jonathan Alena, charged Russia of break its to by the Convention on the Ban of Chemistry Arms. He told he had heard the threats of Russia but how the UK would not be deterred. We will stay by the values that are shared by the insurmountable most of such in the justice in the joint nations and we ask you present, to stay by us, he added. In answer the Russki envoy to the UN, Vasily Nebenzia, rejected Moscow's participation in the assault and claimed content testimony of Britain to supporting its accusation. He told, we were taking into account an ultimatum and queried in 24 several hours to recognize how we devoted a criminality. In some speech, confess. We do not say the tongue of ultimatums. We do not use how tongue in nobody. And we will not enable to be speak to in how tongue each. Mr. Alena told the UK by the government has requested the Organisation for the Ban of Chemistry Arms, and freelance guard dog, to check its identity of the material utilized in Salisbury. The US envoy Nikki Haley told Washington stood in total cohesion in Britain, quoting the specific relation among the two countries and proverb the US would ever be down there for the UK. The massive deportation is the greatest with 31 were orderly out in 1985 following dual broker Oleg Gordievsky defected. Ex-spy Sergei Skripal, 66, and his child, Yulia Skripal, 33, stay crucially ill in clinic following creature found slumped on a seat on March 4. Det Sergeant nicknamed Bailey bring down ill time responsible to the occurrence, and is in a severe but steady state, but is mined to be increasing. Moscow rejected to encounter Mrs. May's stroke of midnight last date to company operate in the instance, motive Mrs. May to declare a episode of measures designed to email a precise communication to Russia. These involve, Mrs. May said MPs how Russia had stipulated no explain as to how the nervous system broker came to be utilized in the UK, description Moscow's answer as one of vitriol, disdain and disobedience. The use of a Russki-made nervous system broker on UK ground amounted to the illegal use of strength, she told. The PM, who was over-informed by elder intellect chiefs in Downing Road, added down there was no option finding some rather than how the Russki country was guilty for the assault. She told it was tragical how Russki CEO Vladimir Putin had selected to act in the path. In some moves, meantime, the police force and troop include soldered off areas of the polar Dorset city of Gillingham as portion of the taken assassination inquiry. A Broad Ranger station is in location about a lorry, mined to include restored Mr. Skripal's car of Salisbury, on 20 miles of Gillingham. On 180 military include been developed to Salisbury to assist shoot vehicles and objects of struck areas. Ziz's small restaurant and Archbishop's Plant public house, wherever the Skripals attended up declining bad, stay close. Police force of 15 forces through England and Wales include been shipped to Wiltshire to supporting the inquiry. Russia's Overseas Ministry told Mrs. May's declaration was an unprecedentedly wet provocative act. It told it was flatly inappropriate and undignified how the UK by the government had severely amplified relations by declaring an entire set of enemy measures. Mrs. May has welcomed supporting of allies consisting the US, NATO and the EU. There was not fair an act of taken assassination in Salisbury, nor fair an act versus UK, she told. It is an insult to the ban on the use of chemistry arms. Mr. Skripal, a UK individual, came to the UK in 2010 as portion of a agent replace following he had been condemned by Russia of fleeting data to E6.